Well, that's it. We're done. There we go again. No, I don't think I'm up for doing immediately going again. As much as I would love to just run through and get to the dog ending, it would still take quite a while. It still takes like a few hours, and a lot of the puzzle solutions, like some are fine, but a lot of them are randomly generated every time. Like a lot of the pin codes, or like for example that suitcase locker, you need to find out what it is. What is the time anyway? I mean, I could try. Just depends on how patient people are. If people are willing to to watch or not. I'll keep going, and we can just talk about the game. Because yeah, I can. I'll just put it on beginner and put it on easy puzzle. But I'm not going to make people stick around and watch me start again. I could see how quickly I could get through it. Maybe it's fresh enough in my memory I know the route. Screw it. I should look up where the dog key is, though. I think it's in here. But hey, you get to see this part of the game now, with the component signal now. Okay, let me look this up. Sorry, I forgot where the dog key is. Ah, okay. It's not here. Look, it's me. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the UFO thing is in the start, which again we can't get on this version. This is not the So for PAL, it would have to be the platinum version, which is called the director's cut, and we can't do that here. Hey, I can get the pipe this time though. How about that? So yeah, let's just see how quickly we can get through this. Because yeah, now I've got the. I just want to check something as well. Could I open up a new tab? I want to make sure. Okay, yeah. The main reason why I want to do this is I want to see this minimap thing that people found. But we need to get to the dog ending to see it. Because it's just so weird that it took so long to be found. Also, I did miss a bunch of the New Game Plus items. So I might look up where they all are. Yeah, I won't worry about saving yet. Here we go. Yeah, let me try to look up because I totally missed multiple New Game Plus weapons. Make sure I'm going the right way. Okay. Aha, the hyper spray. Okay, it's just the hyper spray I missed. Okay. Well, let's go get that then. Yeah, UFO endings are cool. It's. I think it's one of the things that's a slight bummer about. I hope I didn't do a. No, okay. The Western games is they didn't though some of them did include it. They didn't really try and fit. There we go. Got the chainsaw again. They didn't try to fit in with what Sun Hill 1 through 3 did, where the UFO endings are canon to each other. Most of the time, they're just kind of their own thing. Um, Worth mentioning, Homecoming is such a weird game. You can accidentally get the UFO ending on your first playthrough. It's you don't have to do anything that different. It's pretty much just you have to pick the two good options, and then there's a bit where you can like optionally heal the character, and that gets you the UFO ending, which is weird because it's like you're doing the good plus requirements, and for some reason that gives you the UFO ending. And I don't remember if Origins has a UFO ending. It probably does. But also with how rushed that game is, I would not be surprised if it didn't. I know it has the cringe like, oh, you were the baddie all along thing. Running, running, running. Okay. So it's Saul Street apparently, which is the motorhome that we missed when we started this playthrough. Okay. Pretty sure you have to go this way. If you try and deviate off the path here, James is like, no, I want to follow. Well, it's partly the interesting thing about Silent Hill 2, because a lot of the other games kind of do the whole thing of like, oh, you're trapped in Silent Hill, but James doesn't really seem to be that trapped at the end of the day. Like, a lot of the times he's just like, no. You have to remember the mindset James is in. Like the implication, like the time frame he's got run this whole like, oh, Mary died 3 years ago. It's like, no, she literally just died. Like, in the that's why in that rebirth ending he's got the body basically. Uh, keep away. Uh, uh. Oh, that was it.
Dead?
Yeah, which I think that's and in Silent Hill 1 that's also the case, with Harry looking for Cheryl. And even like Silent Hill 3, and you get to it. That depends on the ending, because in the Leave ending, um, she leaves with you. There we go. I am curious how quickly we can do this. Like I said, some of the puzzle solutions you have to go find the codes. Okay, well, let's go this way this time. Something is written on it. Too bad I can't read it because it says remains of something swamp. The something of the land surrounding is monument. This monument was originally swamp, was later field. Frick ago, nicknamed Blood Swamp. Wash the excrement here. Perhaps it's faux pas, hats. Many people seem to have sold their hats to the area. Yeah, I can't translate all that, sorry. Surprised I missed that first time. But yeah, a lot of the like later games tend to have it where it's like, oh no, you're trapped in Silent Hill. Like that's definitely what Downpour is, and that's where it kind of like breaks the rule because it's like, well, no, the town doesn't really just choose to trap people randomly. Yeah, gotta go this way. Probably don't need to search around too much, but I do want to go to that motorhome and see what the hyperspray is. I always do this. It's this door. Yeah, yeah. So if you just explore around randomly, this is what we didn't see. This is the thing that literally tells you where to go. And it's like, oh yeah, go here. Well, no, it has its own brands. It's and there's no items. There we go. And also, even if you don't go into here, if you wander around and find the motorhome down this way, that tells you to go to the motel as well. What are you looking at? Oh man, there's tons of stuff lying around. Alright. Is this it? Yeah, yeah, here we go. So after this, I am still not 100% sure what the next streaming plan is going to be. Hyper Spray. Let's have a look. Is that yellow or white? If it's white, that's the weakest one. It is kind of yellowy. Yeah, yeah. So if you come here, it tells you to go to Needy's bar. Yeah. Bear in mind that was hard mode, and with all the continues and items used, or what I wasn't expecting to get an amazing rank. We could do Silent Hill 3 after this, but I do want to do some other kind of games as well. Longer playthroughs. Though it's still October. There's not much of October left. Maybe now that I know how to not completely fuck up my audio, that does give me. I don't have to fuck around with the settings every time we stream this time. Kind of got stuff settled now. I'd have to get a hold of Fatal Frame. Happy Burger, let me in. I remember there was something here. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I do have Forbidden Siren though. But considering some of the stuff I hear about that, that might be something I might play a little later. I kind of want to do a thing where I do have like more than one playthrough going on at once. That was going to be the plan with the Nightmare Before Christmas game. I'm trying to see. My memory's not good enough to remember if I was finding some of these items in the same place. I don't think hard mode actually. Oh. There we go. So. Cool, just head this way and then head right. But yeah, before my Xbox broke live on stream, the plan was to play through that while finishing this up. But I'm probably gonna pick a different kind of hack and slash action style game. I'm thinking maybe Wonderful 101, the remaster on Switch, because I have it, but I haven't actually played it yet. And I actually did not finish the Wii U version because I started playing it right around when that remaster got announced. And it'd be cool to finish that. Can't go in there. Oh, there's the bugs. Okay, so the bugs do show up on basically any action difficulty. I think the only thing it really messes with is probably like enemy behavior, and well, we'll see health when we attack them, but that first enemy died in one hit, so it must affect their health. Okay, well, I'm just going to safety save just in case power cuts or anything like that. I mean, that's what we want, right? We just want to get through this as fast as possible. We'll see how long I can go. I think that's always the thing I found weird about people who moan about, oh, you have to change the gameplay and controls of Silent Hill because people had trouble with them. Because, like, yeah, there is this difficulty mode. Yeah, run away. So those options were there, and, you know, like, there's... Excuse me, legs. If you... Like I said, I think the main thing if you use the 2D controls is more... They make some things easier. Haha. But some stuff will be harder. But, you know, I kind of... The one thing I did change my mind on is that I understand that some people just do have... Yeah, man, it's such a difference that they don't immediately try and spit at you. Now I can actually look in these rooms. Yeah. So I kind of don't blame people for that. Though, the reason why I want... So I was talking about it earlier, I didn't finish. The reason why I want to see this mini-map is it kind of feels like it could be a solution to that issue. Because if the mini-map always faces a certain direction, then it might be easier for people to kind of move based on what the mini-map shows. Okay, well obviously I don't remember enough to remember what rooms we have to go in. So, you're gonna have to bear with me on that one. I think learning to master the camera controls in this does also help. Excuse you. Well, the save points are actually pretty generous in this game. At least I feel like they are. Okay, this is not the room I meant to go in. But even Silent Hill 1 has checkpoints. And I'm curious if it is a difficulty mode thing. Because Silent Hill 1, if you use the continue option in there, it will actually, for example, like a lot of the times, if you die to a boss, it will just bring you to right before the boss fight. Okay, so yeah, this is the... Oh, back up. Garbage chute. Just doing that so I can mark it on the map. That's the stairwell, right? Like, it would... The minimap would help with stuff like this, but it's also a thing of, like, you know, having, like, no on-screen HUD, like, does help with the immersion a lot. Oh, hang on. And it's one of the minor... I think only a minor issue, but minor issue in Silent Hill 4, because I don't believe you can turn it off. And they kind of give you, like, way too much HUD info. Where the health bar is, like, very detailed, and there's, like, a attack meter, and... things like that. Okay. What's this? Henry Mildred Scott. Okay, so that's one of the puzzles that doesn't change. Me, it's probably... It's weird. Because it's the one I like the most, but it's not the one I think is the best Silent Hill game. Oh. So I didn't pick this up. That tells you what the clock stuff's supposed to mean, but I guess because I've seen this played so many times, I always knew what the fins meant. Okay, third floor. The one that I think is my favorite in terms of like it ignoring like the marketing spiel, if you just play the game as its own thing and kind of ignore it trying to be Silent Hill, is Shattered Memories. Like, Shattered Memories feels the most like complete and actually successfully sees its own vision of what it's supposed to be. I still think it has made, like, even ignoring how it doesn't really fit as a Silent Hill game, it has its own issues, like you know, like quite a. I'm trying to think. So first off, the game's too easy, and that was something they intentionally did. They were like, there's developer quotes out there. I think with Sam Barlow and some other people, that the whole idea is it was meant to be casual. It was like, it wasn't meant to be very mature, but it's like, but you're making a mature game and you're putting very mature themes into the story. I don't think like handled as well as this game does it, because it's very much just like they they don't really have anything to say about said themes. They're just kind of there. Just it's like, oh hey, drugs are bad, and things like that, or like, oh, here's what girl daddy issues is like. Um, yeah, but I think it was a joke comment from what I've heard from the clip. I don't think it's something he sincerely meant. I think he, but I'd have to see where that clip's from. I've only heard the clip and not the full context of it. Um, but yeah, there's that part of Shattered Memories, and that casualization is in multiple things. Like the most of the puzzles are very there's nothing to them really. Like they're very basic. A lot of the puzzles, and in some cases they aren't puzzles. Like there's too much of that game that's just like weird gimmick stuff. And I understand like it was a Wii game, though. Bearing in mind, Konami weren't the ones who mandated it be a Wii game. Like Climax UK always kind of envisioned it as one. Okay, so we got the key now. Like a lot of the stuff is just like, oh hey, pick up the fin using the Wiimote and pull this shelf and things like that. And that stuff is just like, again, it's supposed to be an M-rated game, and it and then it gives you like child puzzles. It's very odd. It's very like jarring and polar opposite feeling. Um, One of the obvious things, and funny enough, Tom Hewlett, people talked to him about it, and he actually said it was something that he did actually think they should have changed, but he didn't want to interfere too much with what Climax wanted to do, and that was that there's absolutely no threat when you're not in the nightmare. When you're just running around, the only thing you've got to really worry about is, oh, when will the nightmare start? But aside from that, okay, clock key. Yeah, yeah. Um, I do think there was some good ideas with the making it a non-combat game and making it like a running stealth game, but a lot of the stealth stuff doesn't really work very well. For example, like you can hide under beds and where's the clock now? I think it's in 208, isn't it? Where's the clock up here? Oh, that's my bad. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with the stealth. It's like there's no real reason to kind of let enemies get past. Also, the areas, apart from like one or two areas, Um, they're kind of very linear. It's not like multiple loops when you think of stuff like Resident Evil 2 Remake's design, where you open up loops that you can use to avoid Mr. X coming after you. Shattered Memories, well, like, first it has a map, doesn't really show you anything, and the game's so linear that you never use it anyway, pretty much. And then, God, I'm an idiot, I've completely forgotten what room the clock's in. I should have examined it, because if you examine it, it shows up on the map. Excuse me, sir. Alright, I'm pretty sure this isn't it. This is the room where you find the, yeah, that's this room. So yeah, so you mainly only run. And there are some interesting... Isn't it 208? I thought it was 208. I'm being a numbskull. Yeah, we're not going to go through this quick. This is going to be a two-parter just to get to dog ending. There we go. Okay, let me go look at the clocks again. What's this? What's this? Okay, second, minute, hour. Yeah. Just want to make sure I got that right. No, I think that's slightly off. There we go. Like, I don't think there'll be like a secret ending to a game to the level that the dog ending was, because it's so jarring for what the game is and so out of left field. Like, in a lot of ways of how this game is a subversion of what Silent Hill 1 was, where it's meant to evoke some similar feelings of Silent Hill 1, but then you actually play it and it is different. That ending is very much the same thing. Though again, you have to, do quite a lot to get it, because you have to either do all the regular 4 endings, no, the regular 3 endings, or you have to do an ending and then the rebirth ending. And then you have to, find the dog key, which I imagine you just have to randomly stumble on it. What's some other issues with? I think the twist in Shattered Memories, because it's so blatantly um, Silent Hill 2 inspired. Like the way I always describe that game, because of the whole reimagining marketing, that whole thing of Konami mandating they do a Silent Hill 1 remake on the Wii, and Climax UK tricked them because that game is not a remake of Silent Hill 1 at all. And it's not even a reimagining, it's just, oh yeah. There's a courtyard key. Like, it's just a different game with some of the names and locations. I mean, Konami mandate, like, so the full history is Climax were making another game that was that I think was intended to be a Silent Hill game, but its name was Cold Heart, and it was going to be completely unrelated, like new character, basically not like a reboot, but kind of like its own separate universe, kind of how Shattered Memories turned out anyway. But it wasn't going to have any existing Silent Hill characters in it, and you actually would have played as basically from the art. You can find this on Unseen64, the website. The concept art they have basically looks like they're designed for Cheryl. So that's who you were essentially supposed to play as. There's a fire escape key. Some handgun bullets. And they showed that pitch to Konami, and a lot of the gameplay and overall design was still the same at that point. So it still had the Frozen motif. Though it was going to have a bit more survival mechanics, apparently, where you actually had to worry about freezing to death. At least that's what I remember. I could be making that bit up, but I remember reading that. There you go. Oh, thank you, Jabba, for inviting us. Hey, we're trying to very quickly as we can, get to the dog ending. That's what we're doing for anyone who's coming in to see what's going on. Can't promise I'll get to it during this stream, because I definitely do not know the speed run. And to be honest, like, yeah, like the Frozen stuff in Shattered Memories isn't that scary looking. Okay. Yep. Oh, okay. I thought there was an item there. I'm trying to think what else. But also, Shattered Memories does do some like really good stuff as well. Like, it's not so much the other versions, but the Wii version is one of the best looking games on that console. There's the canned juice. I was gonna say it's the kind of gimmicky motion. Like, I mentioned some of it in the puzzles, but all the like mime the action stuff is really. I think it's kind of maybe it's a bit harsh to say, but it's kind of embarrassing to have in that kind of game. Like, it's not appropriate for a game that's supposed to be that serious. With the subject matters it deals with. And then it's like, oh, pretend to use a wheelchair by doing this, and pretend to swim, and all that stuff. It's like, no. But that's kind of the unfortunate thing. If you play the PS2 version, and I think there was a PSP version. I do not know why they made ports of that game. Makes no sense. But because the flashlight controls, it's like one of the first like the few times where like that's where the motion works really well, and it's really immersive with how the controls work there. Like that stuff's really good. Um, and though the whole photo, that's camera. I'm live. I'm just Bagheads aren't as animated as other people. I can't help that. It's just the way I am. Yeah, trying to spit at me. Bagheads are actually friendly. It's these monsters you have to worry about. Video games give us a bad rep, honestly. You play lots of video games, and most of the time, Baghead characters are monsters and faceless and scary and zombies and things like that. It's like, no, some of us are nice. There's like Faust in Guilty Gear. He's nice. You know? So I'm here to change that. Change that perception. Excuse me, sir. But yeah, in Shared Memories, the psychological stuff is interesting. It's just a bit too in your face. Oh wow, really? Well, Scarecrow's just really curious. he just really, he just wants to know things. Unfortunately, like to the detriment of other people. Excuse me, Eddie. I can't remember if there was an item in here or not. If this is just this room that I totally never saw from the first playthrough. But he's a cool baghead. Okay, where are we going? Where are we going? There's a door here, is there? Yeah, I thought so. Trying to think of other stuff in Shazam. I think the voice acting is good. It's kind of interesting for that there are one or two people who ended up being in the HD collection that were in Shattered Memories, and they're a lot better in that game. I think just the fact they're playing original characters, and they're not poorly dubbing over scenes they're not trying to match the animation to, but I do think the characters are interesting. The psychological stuff, it's a shame because it has the same problem that like Heavy Rain does, where you find out that the changes don't really affect much when you realize it. Like some of the dialogue is actually like basically the same sometimes, and it's only like very minor things. But it's an interesting idea. But it is, again, it's cribbed from this because aside from these endings we've been going for, the endings in this game are like doing that. Again, it's an interesting idea, but some of the changes are very arbitrary. Is the best way I can put it. Oh, oh yeah, can juice. That's what I got to do next. Also got the fire escape key, which is okay. I'll go this way. And you know them trying to kind of copy the idea of like the monsters representing you, but I think some of them it's like some of the designs it was obvious what it represented, and others it wasn't. Like I specifically, it's like yeah, if you answer the questions that proves you're horny, like it's very obvious that the enemies are meant to look like shapely and sexy, but most of the other designs that changes the look, it doesn't really look specifically like the things it represents. They just look a bit different. And know some of the scenes with the Dr. K, because he's not actually technically named, are good. It's like his actual writing as if he was a real therapist is pretty messed up. Which I think maybe is the point, but it's still a bit weird. But yeah, once you've played that game once, it's very obvious what changes what and what actually makes a significant difference to things. Um, I was talking to some people. There's a bit where you have to color in a picture, and literally, there's two effects it has. It either affects the colors of certain objects in a cutscene, or if you do it a certain way, it gets you the denial ending. Um, so the only one that actually affects an ending is the denial ending. The rest, it doesn't actually affect like the game in a significant way. There's the coin. Sullivan, my son. We'll see you one day for sure. And hmm. But yeah, it's just, but I yeah, I can't say Shazam is like it's the best game that anyone who worked on those Western games made, but it's it's not a Silent Hill game. It's just it has some character names and some locales that aren't the same locations, but they're the same type of locations. Like, oh yeah, you go to a hospital area, you go to a school, like that kind of stuff. Um, but the one that's probably the best Silent Hill game is maybe Origins. You have to completely ignore the story, which is already not great because it's one of the main focuses is the story. But there was at least some attempts to actually recreate how Silent Hill played, just not amazing because there's a lot of gimmicky like, oh, we're gonna do this thing different because this is a different thing, and it doesn't work. Like doing the weapons that can break, for example. Let's go in the toilet. Okay, that's for the safe. Okay, I didn't actually read that, so let me read it again. Not that I really need it, but my memory sucks, so I'm just going to write this down. There we go. The thing I'm curious about. You said like nothing basically kills you. I'd still wonder if Pyramid Head's like one hit kill move from the boss fight coming up here. I feel like that would still one hit kill you. But if it doesn't, then fair enough. There we go. There we go. 120. I mean, I probably won't try because I'm just trying to. Oh yeah, I don't have the map. Okay, so we came in through that door. Can't get that open. Can't get that open. Let's see. Not much going on right now. We'll see. It kind of, one of the things someone talked about, I might have just missed the map, but whatever, is it seems kind of weird that suddenly Konami would be, oh, I actually don't need that, whoops. Considering like what Konami's output's been for the past few years, and then suddenly they're doing like all these projects at once, and they're doing these big outsourced things. And these crazy rumors that they're somehow getting Kojima to work on a game again, and all that loopy stuff. Yeah, I've definitely missed the map. Which I hope that doesn't come back and bite me, because I'm terrible at navigating. I might go and go back and make sure I pick it up. Try and remember where it is. There it is. Yeah, well, it won't be Bluepoint anymore because Sony owns Bluepoint. And there's rumors going around now that Bluepoint's working on a bunch of Bloodborne games. Okay, good. Did check all these. So the rumors now another studio that I've not heard of, but they're a support studio that's worked on a ton of stuff, including a lot of Bluepoint's recent outputs. Yeah. Um. Well, yeah, but like I said again, with Bluepoint being owned by Sony, and yeah, but that rumored Metal Gear Solid sequel, not sequel, sorry, remake, that's changed multiple times. Where it was going to be Metal Gear Solid 1, and now it's going to be Metal Gear Solid 3, and it's just, and it just seems weird that like, oh yeah, you know, Konami, that studio that doesn't like to spend money because that means it makes less money and it makes crap and microtransaction shit. They're gonna get like 5 different studios to make them games, and they're going to spend all this money and things like that. Like, the only thing that really seems legit is the blooper thing, because they've just come out and said, hey, we're working with Konami, we're going to work on an existing IP. I know you guys are hoping it's going to be Never Dead, but it won't be. Well, I'm hoping it's going to be Never Dead. Handgun bullets. Yeah, but they essentially just used it to make their Pro Evolution Soccer games afterwards. Also, there's kind of the theory that the main reason for the big falling out was because they were like, hey. Well, yeah, but apparently, like, Konami still do a lot of, like, mobile stuff, so maybe mobile is where they're making all their money. And obviously, they wanted their, like, free to play football game to be a big money maker, but they've launched it broken, so it's not going to be. Haha. Just double checking all the doors. Can't get that door open. No, okay. So, it's 105. Which is this one. Alright, well, let's see what this puzzle is on beginner, and hopefully it won't take half an hour this time. But, we'll see. To the right is the lady, to the left is the old one, in the centre crawls the other. But don't worry, the puzzle's done. Okay, let me... I wasn't expecting it to be that obvious. Right lady, left old one. Where's my coins? I think the only thing is if you don't examine a coin, you don't know it's the lady. That's the only bit you'd be confused at. There we go. So we'll see. Also, I feel like that Blooper Team announcement was too recent. Like, that's not even a year old. It just seems like maybe a mistake to be like, hey, we've just been hired. We're going to show a trailer for something that we probably don't even have in-game assets for. Yeah, but okay. Well, first off, I hate teasers. I hate, like, hey, we're announcing we're making a game, but we have nothing to show. And I kind of wonder. So when the rumors came out, and then when Blooper Team announced their fins, I'm imagining the Blooper Team saw all the, like, the social media reaction. What he said was very vague, and he basically just said he's working on the thing that people would want him to work on, which that could mean anything. But, you know, is it Lollipop Chainsaw 2? Because I would want him to work on that. But I feel like if you're Blooper Team, you would have seen the reaction on social media to it being announced that the rumors were saying they were making a Silent Hill game. because though I've seen some people who are very rarely have I seen people positive. I guess the best reaction I've seen is I've seen people who are mildly optimistic. Is probably the best way I can put it. What key did I get? Nope. Beat the game, still gonna hit triangle when I need to go to the... Okay. Okay, now I know where I'm going. Right, let's go back. But they must have seen that the reaction was tepid to agony, because some people got really tilted when those rumors started, and especially once the official announcement was made. I know, considering they're like a more of an indie studio, like Konami, whatever, but Blooper Team, I imagine them seeing those reactions probably got very kind of like, I wouldn't want to work on a new Silent Hill game if someone asked. Go away, Mr. Pyramid Head. Oh, he's done. He's done. Oh my god. Like, for real, if you really struggled with the controls, like, just play on this mode. It's fine. He's no bother. There he goes. Off to do his own thing. But yeah, I can't imagine Blooper Team would, like, after seeing what the reactions were, I don't imagine they were like, oh yeah, we're so hyped to announce this. Sorry, I did it too quick. I wasn't expecting it to take less than a clip. Because it took a lot more than a clip on hard mode. Is that it? That's the apartment, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, yeah, we're going to be getting through this quick. I don't know how quick, but... Okay. I mean, the apartments is probably the quickest area. Because, yeah, now, going to the park. Go on, James, you can do it. I'm not gonna, at this point now, I'm gonna just not try too hard to find ammo and health. Mary? There we go, we found Mary. You saw the cutscene? Now time to go home. Okay. How do I get out of here? Okay, it's this way. I want to actually get the pipe this time. Also, I should double check now. Yeah, the dog key. west. Okay. So. Guessing over here somewhere? Oh, okay. It's even more west of here. That would be interesting to know. Here, next time I save, I'll try and kill her. There it is. Pipe. Finally got it. You know, these things I'm looking up don't... Oh, okay. Yeah, I've already gone past it. But yeah, next time I save, I'll just attack her with the chainsaw and see what happens. There we go. So yeah, so now... head into the bowling alley. Do. But okay, we are... Oh, okay, that door is locked. I think I was just so used to going the other way, I didn't realise that door was locked that way. Lollipop Chainsaw was awesome.
Did you find the lady you're looking for? What's her name? Mary?
And again, as someone who likes character action stuff, that's a game I would love to have seen be made with more of that stuff in mind. Which I haven't played. I feel bad about it. I haven't played No More Heroes 3 yet, and apparently that's, though it has issues, it's they've the best combat. Apparently, it's like a lot more streamlined and focused. Here we go. Haven't played it, but I did watch an LP of it, and I should play it one day because it did look very good. Okay, check the alley, do a spin, come in here. I don't know about Evil Within 1 though. I've seen some people really like that game, but that's another one I watched a playthrough of, and it seems very unfocused and messy and not great. And though it has some like cool psychological horror bends to it, like I don't think its story makes much sense. And I think they knew that because apparently the DLC kind of explains stuff. Like there's a lot of that story where it's just like I think most of that game is not real, which is a bit confusing because it like even the start of the game, like before nightmare stuff happens, you like it if for the stuff you see that happens, you must have already been in this machine thing, so it's never explained how you get in it. It's an odd game. Alright. So now down this way. There are some neat stuff. I think the safe guy, the safe head guy, which I have some affinity to. He's not a baghead, but he's distant related cousin for sure. Was interesting, and there's some interesting designs in there and atmosphere stuff, but oh no, don't want to know about these guys. Do a save. Let's see if Maria can die. Sorry about this, lady. Yep. Pretty definitively. There you go. And that didn't even take that much. So, that makes me think the Pyramid Head's like one hit kill does still kill you. I can't imagine it's too hard to keep her alive though. Bear in mind the chainsaw already does so much damage. So I bet that's important to know. Yeah, other side. Get that key. It's kind of funny though, because that means even on this difficulty level, presumably Pyramid Head could still. Maybe enemies can't kill her though. That would be a different test. Like maybe that's a punishment for like if you just wail on her. If I remember right, most of these doors are locked. Okay. We'll try and get through this quick. Well, like I said, it depends on how the enemies are. I get the feeling that you can probably still kill her, maybe because it's like, hey, it would be weird if we just made her invincible. Okay, well, this door opens. My memory's not going to be that great. I'm not going to remember everything. And some stuff I can't remember because it changes. I know there's some of the passcodes you find here are different. There's a random generator. Okay, there we go. That's all the doors. Locked. But I think unless you're purposely going out your way to hurt Maria, because even on hard mode, like she didn't get hit that much. It was only that Pyramid Head corridor because AI doesn't follow you, and Pyramid Head is so much faster and attacks so much faster. Let's just reload. Let's have a look at the map. Let's check these rooms first. But yeah, and in terms of the other Western Silent Hill games, that's Homecoming and Downpour, and those are abysmal games. I'm sorry to anyone who likes them. I mean, you can like them and enjoy playing them. I don't know how true this is, but my sister, when I used to watch her play, that's how I got into these games when I was young. I used to watch my sisters play this. She explained it that the kick is more. There we go. Is more symbolical. Like it's not so much that it does a lot of damage, but it's like it works because it's you making sure they're finished off, like it's you fighting against them. So it's almost like it's not the kick that defeats them, it's your determination. Whereas if you like, shoot them, and then as soon as they fall down, you run away, you're not really trying to defeat the enemy. So that's why they get up and have all their health back. Okay. Yeah, can't get in there. I really shouldn't pick up most of these items, but I just... Wait a minute, what's this? Here we go. Yeah, so these are randomly generated every time, these codes. Even if I was using a guide to do this as quickly as possible, this would be different. So I need to write these down. I remember when Punchy did his he did the, I think it was to get the dog ending actually. I could be wrong, but I think it was the dog ending speed run he did at Games Done Quick. he straight up said that they've looked into the code to try and predict and possibly like manipulate memory to get um, the random generation they want, and they've been unable to. Straight up, they don't know how it seeds its random stuff. It just seems to, as soon as you start the game. It's so funny that you just shoot them once and they fall over. Okay. How'd you get them, Maria? So crazy. What's even more nuts is like, I don't know if you have to beat the game to get it or not. But there's a cheat where it multiplies the amount of ammo you pick up from drops. Where it's like, oh, if this drop would have had like 10 bullets, it will now have 20. So you can give yourself, and I think it works on any difficulty. You can give yourself like a crazy. I don't think I have the key for this yet, do I? No. Um. But yeah, I wonder why they felt the need to put this mode in. But again, so much of this game feels like it was made for like, hey, we want to make sure people who maybe don't play a lot of survival horror games can play it. And again, even on normal mode, like the bosses are a bit tough and you have to save for. But like if you played any survival horror game before and you know to just search around for the resources and check all the rooms and stuff, it's not a bother at all. Okay, that door's locked. And that door's locked. Okay, let's keep going. Blind speed run. Well, not blind, but speed run no one's practiced for. How quickly can you do it? Okay, this we don't have the key for yet. I think I'm going to head back down to the first floor. I kind of remember all this. A lot of this is my fault for not having these audio issues figured out and pacing these streams out so much, because I could have done this game in a week if I just, stream a day kind of thing. But whatever, we're doing it now. What's the time? I might not go too much longer. I think I'm going to do the hospital and then stop. I'm not sure. I'm up for like a 5-6 hour stream. I do want to mess with more survival horror, but I don't know if I'm going to immediately jump into that. I don't want to give people the impression that it's like, oh, there we go. That's the main thing I play all the time. Plus, you know, there is only a finite amount of these classic ones, so I'd rather, you know, space them out a bit. There are some of the classic Resident Evils I've not actually played, so there are some that it would be like I've played remake, the first remake, but I've not actually played all the way through 2 and 3, the original PlayStation versions, or any like the game Dreamcast, GameCube, PC, whatever, like any version of them. But you know, like I said, I want to do a variety of stuff. I definitely want to do some character action, stylish action stuff, just because it is. I just love mechanically what those games do. I think if you're playing the PC version and doing everything you're supposed to, though, funny enough, I remember again, Punchy did a GDQ run of Silent Hill 3. There's only one glitch they found that saves. There's like one out of bounds they found that saves time, and one of the other out of bounds they found doesn't. The setup is just takes just as much time as it does. To do it. I would like to play Resident Evil 8. Problem is, my PlayStation 4, I just can't capture it. And I've tried lots of different things. No, stop that. Roof key. It just seems to be something with this capture card I use. It won't pick it up. And I did buy a splitter because I was reading online that fixes it because they bypass the like capture protection stuff. But the one I got, I don't think it's a proper splitter that I was looking for. I was looking for a splitter that splits the signal simultaneously, and the one I brought doesn't. It's just a switcher, so it's not even a splitter really. Okay, that's that. So either I try and buy another splitter that can actually split the signal this time, or I just work on this, see how well we can do streaming, shoot the legs, and just build a better thing to capture off, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Heck, I do want to get the new gen consoles at some point, but it is a lot of money, and especially the PlayStation 5 is really hard to get hold of. Though, you know, build up a big enough an audience of it, I would love to stream that stuff for people, especially the Demon Souls remake. No, this. I mean, that's a fine enough way of playing. Like Resident Evil 1, the remake, especially remake. Um, Once you've played it a few times, like it essentially becomes that you do speedrun it, even. And like in most ways, it's like it's legitimately more fun once you know a lot of the stuff you need to do. But yeah, I do really want to check out Resident Evil 8. Mainly, I wouldn't have to play on a new gen console. I played the demo on PlayStation 4, and it still looked really good. So it'd be a shame. I'd love to. I can still stream PS4 through just the PS4's like capture thing. Oh yeah, I gotta go up to the roof now. I just can't do camera when I do that, or any other custom stream stuff. I just have to rely on what's built into the hardware. But like at some point, I want to play through Devil May Cry 5 again. Well, it does work, the splitter I brought. It just doesn't work for what I wanted it to do. It's more of a switcher, I think. Like, I do think it's kind of mislabeled because it doesn't really split the signal. What it can do is it has a switch. And you can either have two devices plugged into it that plug into one HDMI port, so you can just press a button and toggle between them. Or you can have one device and you can press the switch to toggle what device the HDMI outputs to, but you can't have it output to two devices at once. So, and it doesn't seem to bypass whatever capture issues I'm having. Probably because it isn't an actual splitter, it's just transfer. It's just it's just switching. Okay, well, might as well heal because that's unavoidable damage. One thing I should mention, if anyone's not played this, especially not on original hardware, like maybe emulated, here we go. This code is also random every time. 8484 is the controller rumbles like a heartbeat and gets faster if you in critical health. So that's how you know what your health is. I know someone who played the full Siren Blood Curse thing, but I don't remember what they thought of it. Okay. So now, I'm going to the shower room, gonna wash up. You're definitely getting through this quicker. I don't know. Like, there's some really good stuff in Evil Within, but because it's on a weird blend of like action-y horror. Oh wait, no, not here yet. Like, there is some really good stuff in that game, but I don't think it's that scary. I think some of the stuff in 2 with the weird ghost lady and some of the weird stuff in 2 is more of a contender. I know in my opinion Silent Hill 4 is not 4, sorry. 3 is the Silent Hill that's the scariest in my opinion. It does the most to mess with you, though 4 has its moments. And I do think Walter is a really cool villain and presence in the levels. And unsettling in a way. Like, because in some ways he doesn't look inherently scary, and I think that makes him scarier. Was the So are they all PlayStation 2? Most of the Fatal Frame games. I know not all of them are, but most, at least the ones that came out here. Whenever I think of sadly, whenever I think of so all over the place. When I think of Fatal Frame nowadays, I think of when people were talking about the rumors about Blooper Team working on Silent Hill game, and someone was like, "Hey, why are you being upset? They make survival horror games." And someone was like, "No, they don't. They've never made a survival horror game." Yeah, which is it's the remake of the Wii U one. Um, and okay, so first off, saying that Blooper Team makes survival horror games is already ridiculous. And when we were saying like, no, 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 this is what survival horror games are, and we pointed to Fatal Frame, and he was like, I don't think Fatal Frame's a survival horror game. Is there limited items? It's like, yes, there's there's limited like ammo and health in it. Like, it's very survival horror. It's like it does every like like a mini survival horror. There is some wiggle room because for some people, survival horror means, oh, you have limited inventory space and you have to manage your inventory, but not all of them are like that. Because Silent Hill, for example, in at least 1 to 3, there's no inventory management and there's no limit on how much you can carry. That was something only 4 did. Oh, I just got an email. Sorry about that. Depending on how long this nightmare part of the hospital takes, I might do a bit more. Though I will need to take a break in a sec. Okay, that's still not the inventory button. Look at that ammo. That's disgusting amount of ammo to have in a Silent Hill game. That was one shot. Okay, you know what? Like, if you really struggle with tank controls, I don't know, just play on beginner. Like, you don't have to pick up any other weapon apart from like the the pistol. Even them being generous ammo, they don't need to be. But again, I think they're even technically quite generous on ammo on hard. It's just that ammo is not very useful for the bosses. I probably should have been using the shotgun more often earlier. So here we are, we're in the nightmare section now. I do think, again, there's little bits with this game where my perfect difficulty mode would be somewhere between normal and hard. Like, hard mode was fine for the exploration, the basic that enemy health, but for bosses it was not great, and most of them weren't fun because they also attacked really fast and moved faster, and it meant that you just couldn't avoid hits and had to rely on being able to. Oh, I always forget these are open. Now I have to come over here and press the open door button. But yeah, Jo- Genres and subgenres, I think, is a really interesting topic because some people look at it as being very matter of fact, of like, hey, if you make a genre name, it has to be descriptive and it has to have these concrete ideas, and I don't agree with that, and I think there's too many examples of games that break that rules. Of survival horror is a prime example of it because I've seen people argue, unironically, that any horror game where you have to survive, as in not die, is survival horror. And that's real. That's what someone said once. And it's like, well, no, because that's not what the genre means. It's not literal. And unironically, as well, I saw someone say that an RPG is any game where you play as a character that's not you, because you play that role, and that's why they're role playing games. And it's like, well, no, genres are, well, it's like genre of horror, I guess, but mechanically it is still survival horror. Psychological horror is more just like what's the genre of its horror as opposed to the genre of its gameplay. And that's a whole other discussion, of like, do you genre games by their gameplay or their aesthetic and style? Because you could say that, for example, the Fear series. I've seen some people list those as survival horror, and I wholeheartedly disagree. Heck, I don't think they're even horror games. They're just first-person shooter with horror themes. So would you call those like a horror first-person shooter, or would you just say, oh, it's just horror themed? And that's where I think genre discussions are really interesting, and the right outlook, especially with survival, because since survival horror games kind of disappeared because the industry decided they weren't worth it anymore. We now have actual survival games, and they're mechanically completely different to what survival horror is. Yeah, Resident Evil like 7 and 8 at least. Dry battery. There's the basement key. But yeah, like 7, and from what I understand, like 8 is still similar to 7, but a bit more actiony, but not as drastic as what drastic as like the change to Resident Evil 4 was. It's completely devoid of any survival horror mechanics anymore. And I argue Resident Evil 5 is not even a horror game. It's more of a thriller. Um, Code Veronica gets kind of a bit of a bad rap, and it has problems, but I think a lot of it's really fun. Probably not in the way they intended. Like some of the, it's definitely the cheesiest. Like I'd say it's cheesier than Resident Evil 4 even. Like even though Resident Evil 4 is so cheesy, like at least Resident Evil 4's tongue in cheek, whereas Code Veronica is deadly serious and super cheesy. But and the characters are so dumb, and I just kind of love them. Like even Steve. Steve is such an idiot, and it bums me out that these rumors are like, oh, we're remaking Resident Evil 4, and it's like, why? Like, what's there to change? Like, it's already really good. There's not much you can modernize about that game outside of some visual changes, and fans have done it. Just pay them to to just get the HD project. Capcom, just pay them for it. Like, there's only minor stuff I would change about that game to modernize it, and it would be some sort of the system that Resident Evil 7 and 8 have, where you can assign a quick button to access certain weapons, and that would be it. Because legitimately, I can't think of. Because I've seen people moan about the controls. It's like, well, those HD ports already let you remap all the fins, and the controls, like the game's built around the way it controls already. So I don't know. But yeah, like Code Veronica is the proper sequel to Resident Evil 2. Like 3 is, though it's called 3, it was more intended as a spin-off. Like 2 is the one, like Code Veronica is the one that's supposed to be continuing like the series storyline. And Capcom are like, oh yeah, we remade 2, we remade 3, and that's it. It's just like, well, no, don't go to 4. There's a game in between those. Okay. Oh, hey, nurse. I actually get to look at their animations a bit this time because they don't immediately. Clarice, I don't know if you really wanted to post in chat. There's something really gross about when you start the game when you're in Africa. it's, a, it's a bit. Ooh, I'm gonna pull my collar there. I mean, they did remake the first one, and it's really good. Oh no, front door. I don't think they need to remake Resident Evil 1 again, if that's what you're implying. I don't think the way that game's built, it would benefit from. I do this sometimes. I look at the map and I don't actually pay attention. I don't think it would benefit from the dramatic gameplay changes that 2 had. Yeah, like I'd still argue Resident Evil 1 Remake is maybe the best Resident Evil game. Well, don't worry, because it got ported to like every system now. It's on PlayStation 3, 360, Xbox One, PS4, PC. It's like again, it's on everything. So, which again is shows you what Capcom. As much as Capcom's made a lot of games that I love, they're such a weird company because they made it a GameCube exclusive, and the GameCube was a bit of an underseller. It did not sell very well. And their reaction was like, "Oh, I guess people just don't like these games." And it's like, no, it didn't sell well because you. And when we say sell well, it's like as in it didn't sell multi-millions. And it's like, well, yeah, because you put it out on the GameCube only. And then they put it out. They put out the HD version on PS3 and 360, and it sells crazy. It sells. I have to look at the sales again, but it's really high. How much it sold. Yeah. I'm gonna. If you say 6 is your favorite, that's where you lose me. 4 is a weird game because I love it as a game, but I do admit that like as a Resident Evil game, it does have major flaws and is the reason why the series turned to 5 and 6 and the problems those games had. Like I can still count it as a Resident Evil game because if you think about it, aside from the camera change, it doesn't control that different to how Resident Evil controlled because you hold the trigger to aim and you hit the action button to shoot and you can push left and right to turn. The only difference is that when you aim up and down, it's analog instead of the digital up, middle, down. It's basically just the original controls, just with like more freeform aiming and a different camera angle. And you could, I don't know how hard it would be, but it's something you could potentially have done with a fixed camera angle game. Like obviously not as precise, maybe with a lock-on system, kind of like Eternal Darkness had.
James.
Hey again. Though it does kind of remind me. I can't remember what it was, but there was some big interview piece a YouTube channel did with Shinji Mikami talking about the Resident Evil series and its development on it. Yeah, well, she's trying to entice James with the belly button, with the midriff. Plus, her design is very 90s. Which back then, the belly was the was the key to the soul. Um, and he said, so this Shinji Mikami thing, and I think some people were posting it around because they're acting like it was validation against those who said they liked tank controls, and it was him saying that some people tell him that they prefer the Resident Evil style when it had the fixed camera angles and then it was scarier. And he said it bothers him because it was a hardware limitation. So and I get that logic because it feels like, oh, you're giving me credit for something I didn't actively try and make. It was just we had to make it that way. We did the best with what we could. Okay, floor 2. But the thing he said later, he also said it made the games feel very remote controlled, and it's like, well, all games feel remote controlled because that's how you control them. Like, what do you mean, Mikami? And then he said, "Oh, Resident Evil 4, I think, proves that you can have a scary game with that camera angle." And it's like, but Resident Evil 4 isn't that scary. Like, it very explicitly ruins the horror aspect because you can't have those impending cutscenes. You can't have the dynamic camera angles. You can't set up scares in the same way that fixed camera angles can. And it still feels remote control because you're still remotely controlling a character, even if the camera's just behind them. It doesn't change anything about that. Maria is a dancer, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, we can't skip this, sorry. Oh, wait, we can. Crap, I'm a liar. There's no point doing that because with the amount of ammo and items we're getting. Okay, yeah, so we're heading this way. There we go, got the rings. You have to remember, like, not everything that happens in Silent Hill, especially Silent Hill 2, is explicitly trying to say something about a person. Like, a lot of the fear of these games, and it's something sorely missed from the Western Silent Hill games, is a lot of what's scary about them is you don't know why these things are scary and what they mean and where they come from. It's, the fear of the unknown. It's, you look at this weird monster, what is that? Where's Marines? Where's Marines? And I think that's a big problem with spoilers, Zara. My word. um that is something missing from those sequels, is there's never really anything that feels unexplained or meant to preface scares. There's like a tiny bit of it in Downpour in some of the side quests, but usually they reveal it and it's like, oh, it's just that human looking enemy that you saw earlier. Again, excuse me, lady. Oh, do you remember this bit? Luckily, this will not take hours to do. People who weren't here, I this playthrough, the full playthrough we did first was on the hard difficulty level, and this section is horrendously hard on hard mode. It's one of the most difficult things because Pyramid Head chases you there and attacks Maria, and if she dies before this bit, even though she dies in the cutscene, you game over. And because he's so much, he moves and attacks faster and more often on hard mode. Like, he is... Oh, yeah. He kills... If you don't try and slow him down, he'll just kill Maria, like, very quickly. Mainly because her AI is weird. She doesn't start... First off, she runs slower than you. And also, she doesn't start running after you until you get a certain distance away. And she doesn't actively run away from enemies. She only runs away. She just follows you, basically. You know, funny enough, if I don't stop, I guess I could put this down as a speed run, couldn't I? For dog ending. If there's a category for doing beginner. But I kind of want to stop. I don't know how much further I can go. Because I actually have to do stuff tomorrow. Because it still feels like it would take an hour. Because, still a bit to do. There's the nurses. Hello, ladies. But yeah, if speedrun.net has a category for beginner combat, easy riddle, dog ending, PS2. Like I could submit it. It wouldn't be a good time, obviously, because I know what I'm doing. I'd have to check. I'd have to check. I don't know how often I would do it, but I do kind of want to do a tiny bit of speedrunning, but it would be very minor stuff on stream. And it'd be more like exploring the weird categories like shoulder stuff. I don't think I could get into the habit of doing the streams where people just grind out on one game and that's just all they do. Like, those people are amazing, they can do it. I don't think I could handle it. The one I really want to do, the speedrun I want to do, is the SSX3 All Peaks race. Because that game is really special to me, especially that mode, and finding out, you know, how doable that speedrun is. Tricky wouldn't be an amazing speedrun, because it's just get through all the events. So what the SSX3 All Peaks race is SSX3 structure is the most complete in the series, where oh yeah, we're going that way, so left, right, left, where they actually built like an entire hub mountain, and all the tracks are built into this huge mountain. And one of the coolest parts about it is the race tracks and the off-peak tracks actually all link together. And when you get near to the end of the game, you can do tracks where you race down the entire mountain from the peak, going all the way down to the bottom. And that seems to be the most popular like speedrun category, and it kind of makes sense. Because yeah, you can do, you know, like, hey, 100% the game, complete the game, things like that, but that's not that interesting a category to me, whereas that's like a very set race thing, and it's also quite easy on the glitches and exploits. Like, there's only one exploit they really allow in that speed run, which is that there's a like reset your position button you can press. That's the wrong house. There we go. Got the wrench. Boop, 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 boop. Now, I think I want to go back the way I came. No, I don't. I could see that with Silent Hill 4. Like, Silent Hill 4 is definitely the least polished of the original 4 games. I could see that being the one that would have categories with a lot of out-of-bounds stuff. Not going to worry about going in Neely's bar. We just want to get through this. Now, I don't think I could get through all this tonight. Because, admittedly, we're only really halfway through the game. The prison area is quite long. I feel like it's the longest area. Yeah, I know. I was just kind of thinking if it'd be funny just to clip the stream and be like, "Ha, it's a speed run. I'm bottom of the leaderboard, but I did it." I'll probably just get to the Historical Society, save there, and that'll be it. If I wanted to, I could ruin the stream and run around like this. I won't know. That's not nice. No, trust me, you didn't miss much there. Okay, I think I'm heading the right way. Yep. Oh wow, they actually tried to attack me. Okay, I'm pretty bad at finding this bit. Okay. Oh, there was no point in picking that up. Here we go. Plus, playing on the PAL version, I'm even though the game speed's the same, I'm pretty sure these like transitions between scenes, these fades to black are slower. So that's it's the Historical Society key. Yeah, there we go. But you can get through this game like really quick if you just turn everything down to low settings. Didn't get to show off the catapulting enemies though. I think you can only see them at a certain time, maybe? I think it's if you try and go up this road past the Historical Society, you see them. Because I guess in theory, yeah, because they jump out in this kind of area. When they mention like, oh, the hotel, like when you first see Maria, you should try and run this way. Oh, you're right here. What's the time? Oh yeah. I'm not gonna. We'll speed run another day. At some point, I'm gonna make a an account where I kind of announce stuff before I've got like a set schedule in place, so I can inform on like next stream and stuff. But I might the first thing I might start doing is probably going to be Wonderful 101, just because I really want to play that kind of action game again, especially it's one I've not finished. Well, that went longer than I planned, but I will finish this playthrough because it is going quick. Just to get the dog end in, we can get it on stream, and I can check out this mini map thing because I am really curious about that. And then I'll have a save that's got everything on it. But thank you for coming, everyone. Everyone who came in and dipped out. Thank you for the new followers. I did see there were new followers, even if I didn't see who it was. But thank you if you're still here. And thank you that I'm not an idiot and I fixed the audio this time. Most importantly. And everyone here, take care. Have a good night or a good day, wherever you are. It might be Tuesday. That's probably the plan I want to do, is to do the off days, do a Tuesday, a Thursday, and then weekends depending on how I'm feeling. So Tuesday there will probably be another stream. It will either be finishing this off, or it'll be me jumping to Wonderful 101, or maybe even something on the PlayStation 4 if I'm feeling up to it. When there's more people around, heck, I might even do votes for stuff, because there's a lot of those like action games I want to get to, and it'd be nice to see, well, what's the stuff people want to see. But thank you everyone for coming. I hope you have a good day. Thank you for coming to the show as always, and you take care.